started. Let me know how the sound is. Sound check. What's up, John E. All-Star? What's up, what's up? Already. Let's go. Got that cool. One moment for everybody to come in, know what's up, what's up. How's it vibrate? Y'all know what it is. Sharing a few little things, some things in connection with the full moon, you know what I'm saying? The full moon that, in essence, still going on, you know, once the energy come through, it's still, the essence of it is still in the air, you know, full moon in Virgo, organizing things, detoxing, nurturing energies. What's up, Shahi Hajo? What's up, Casual Kyle? Peace. And some of these things I'm going to share. Some of it, again, like repetition is the best teacher. So some of it is going to be messages that I may have spoken on, you know, to some degree, in some way, form, or fashion, you know what I'm saying? I'm just working on being patient, not rushing. So I'm not trying to like, all right, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, take my... With the first thing in the subject line, you know, March 21st, the new year, spring energy coming through, you know, and just in general, you know, again, like dealing with our spiritual growth, spiritual awareness, or just awareness, you know, within this realm, you know, again, it's a lot of paradoxes, you know what I'm saying? It's a paradoxical energy, you know what I'm saying, of the yin and the yang being blended in one experience, you know what I'm saying? In one moment you'll hear somebody say everything interconnected, and then in the same video or the next sentence you hear them say protect your energy, and it's like, all right, if everything interconnected, why I gotta protect my energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like having that understanding, you know what I'm saying, of that, you know, again, like, especially when it comes to any subject matter on an esoteric or occult level, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna have like that paradoxical, you know, essence to it, you know what I'm saying, and that, again, like, that's what makes it, in essence, sometimes, you know, what makes it come off as like tough is having to balance the scales, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's easy to just go to one extreme or the other extreme, but like it's finding that balance, you know, and being in that balance sometimes could seem like so paradoxical. You know, I speak on the Shiva Lingam, you know, as a matter of fact, working with that, and that's why I took that as the main picture, made that the main picture of this video, because the Shiva Lingam is the balance of understanding your, you know, individual experience as source energy, and then also understanding like the interconnected aspect. And one of the important things that, you know, I've been having to come to more grips with and understanding is, you know, again, it's an individual application. You have to do things that are necessary for your growth, you know, and ultimately or should I say, with anything, the only thing you have control over is what you do with your bodysuit and from your perspective, But also, it's a balance of understanding that it is a part, you taking care of you, doing what you gotta do to tap in. But it's also a group, a group project in essence. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, it's not about just being a lone wolf or being in complete solitude. It takes those moments of being by ourselves, you know what I'm saying? But it's also a group thing. I'm realizing, again, like a lot of, our soul purpose, and the energy we're tapping into in this lifetime has a lot to do with also, helping the collective, because no matter how much, we do focus on our individual aspects of our growth, it does help, again, the collective, like a walking Wi-Fi, like a beacon, you know what I'm saying? You're helping the collective. So one thing I do want to bring up is being aware that it's a group situation, it's not just solitude, you by yourself, not depending on your karmic, your karmic connections and things of this nature. But for the most part, it's about being able to be of service to the collective, you know what I'm saying? Because part of, transitioning from out of this realm and not making it just about that, because again, got to be present and also seeing the value in the human experience, which I'm going to touch on that when we talk about the 9 to 5 energy or the 5 energy and the Pisces energy, but, like valuing, the human experience, because it does have some, it adds to perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about beings who only dwell in certain realms but never had a human experience, and then think about beings who come from those realms but also had a human experience, like, and how that would balance the perspective out and have like a full range of, understanding, 360 degrees of understanding things. But, for sure, again, first aspect of just speaking on it is, also a collective or group effort, and, receiving it a lot on my own journey, and then, getting clarity a lot lately. I've been getting a lot of clarity from my DMT trips, you know what I'm saying, that, I kind of knew what the message was in essence, but I didn't have a lot of physical evidence, to like to ground the message in. And I think of like that one moment, on my DMT trip where I basically like transitioned. It had this feeling like I could sense like all the collective souls, almost every soul that ever participated, or every aspect of source energy, however you want to say, but I just say every, aspect of every soul that ever participated, or every spirit that ever participated in this realm or was in this realm, it was like a eerie feeling of like, yeah, it's like, yeah, universal, we all been always trying to make a collective effort to get the collective, or, build a strong energy collectively in order to transition from out of this realm, because, you're very powerful on your own energy, but again, imagine connecting with, like, just simply not even going with a lot of numbers, like, all right, you powerful by yourself, but imagine connecting with 5 more beings that's on the same tip as you, that's on the same energy, on the same soul mission, and say on the same, but like, again, like y'all have a similar objective in essence, you know what I'm saying, within this realm. that energy is going to really, be powerful. And I think about, Dan Winters. I done brought up Dan Winters before, and how he bring up the science of the torus field and the science of, how to bring memory through that by having a healthy, healthy aura or healthy torus field, and constructive wave interference. Constructive wave interference is when waves come across each other, but instead of like, basically Xing each other out, they actually amplify each other, and that has a lot to do with, our alignment, you know what I'm saying? But, like tapping in with that, the energy also, what was brought up is like a collective lucid dream, or again, like the collective tapping in. So, because again, like realize on our growth that for whatever you're not aware of, you done came across another being that added a perspective that was like, dang, I never, like, although I was aware, I never heard it like that, or, tapped into that perspective before like that, you know what I'm saying? So, it adds to the energy, you know what I'm saying, creating more of a full circle, because again, realizing again the importance of connecting with your soul fam, and like, having that community energy, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of that, lone wolf energy, a lot of times is us being afraid of either exposing ourselves, because when we get around people, we get to see what we're really about in essence, you know what I'm saying? And, having to keep it real and call that out, you know what I'm saying, of like, all right, yeah, we want to be, with this Virgo energy, think about the Hermit and the Tarot card, you have those hermit moments, you have those individual moments, but again, it's like, building with a collective and connecting with the soul fam, you know what I'm saying, and, it's through, again, the individual to collective, and it's like a wave, everything is about a wave, it oscillates into the part of your individual perspective, and then it oscillates into, the wave oscillates into collective, individual, collective, and I think about it like the manifestation liberation cycle, the wave of the microcosmic orbit where you breathe in, the energy goes down to the root, or in essence, your individual perspective, the manifestation aspect. And then as you exhale, inhale, it goes from the root to the crown. So let's say you exhale, you're going from the crown to the root, which is the manifestation, part of the wave, going into the root. And then when you inhale, it goes from the root to the crown, the liberation, and again, collective, individual, you know what I'm saying? And having to, again, like, be aware to keep that movement going, like, as much as we want to, again, sticking to an extreme is basically stagnation, you know what I'm saying? You're not moving, you just stand on this side. And by staying on one side, when you're a whole being that has multiple aspects of yourself, you create, a clashing, or you create like, in essence, like, all right, I'm on this side, so there's something on the other side, you know what I'm saying, type of energy, when it's about, again, like creating this integrity and wholeness to our sense of being, So being aware, again, is an individual application, but it's definitely a group ascension, And again, like those earlier stages, everything, it needs to be said on different levels, like earlier, it's like, yeah, do your inner work, because yes, in order to be able to be a part of a group and be effective in a group, you got to know yourself to the fullest. You got to do your inner work, to the fullest. But at the end of the day, it's also connecting with a collective, as well, And as I speak and say anything, because I realize that to be aware of too, it's not about anybody telling you what you have to do or trying to guilt trip you into doing something, you know what I'm saying? like, because again, I think about some of the energies I done came across that, have like this guilt tripping slash, and having to be aware in this realm, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it starts within, like clearing again, like any form of like shaming yourself and guilt, like, transmuting those energies, you know what I'm saying? But, again, like the importance of the group, you know what I'm saying? Like, and right now, for myself, like making sure things is, becoming more organized, so that, things could, be more strong, have a stronger foundation or have a stronger stability to be connecting and, tapping in with the soul fam. Also, it's a simulation. And it's a game, but it's also one to be accountable about. And again, I done brought forth, again, like the level of, yes, it's a game, it's a simulation, but also having that balance or awareness of, like, but it's like, again, the parody, like being serious, but not too serious, you know what I'm saying? Because, you start to realize, like, all right, if you're not doing the things that you've been guided to do, you know what I'm saying? You see the results of that, and a lot of those results is not, something that feels good. It's not situation, it's not people, places, or things that actually, make us feel good whenever we're not doing things that are in alignment for our highest good. So one may say it's a simulation or a game, but again, like having that awareness to also be accountable and responsible while playing, this game. Because again, you think about your soul energy, you could never be disconnected from source energy because that's what you are on the human experience. But it's definitely a way for you to, if you're not, staying, aware and on top of your game, where it could feel almost like you have disconnected from that source energy, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of us don't want to be in that realm, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to be in that energy. So again, like having a accountability and a balanced level of seriousness about our soul, have fun, be lighthearted, but hold spiritual practices and routine in a high regard. I repeat, hold your spiritual practices and routines, healthy routines, spiritual practices in a high regard, is very, very key, very, very important, So, that's another little message I wanted to, because again, moving into, this March 21st energy, again, like these energies are like portals, I think of doing a video a while back where, like it showed like how, also like how the energy is like a wave when you're moving through the quote unquote zodiac signs. But again, like, the equinoxes and the solstice and equinoxes, they are portals, you know what I'm saying? So again, wanting to be aware of our energy as we move into this March 21st portal. And again, like dealing with this full moon, full moons allow for us to see the seeds that we've been planting in the last new moon. And one thing also to be aware of, always is to unconditionally love yourself and stay resilient and understand, like, again, like just make the majority of your moments, in a space where you're, doing what you should be doing. And we all know what our inner guidance has been guiding us to, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a you situation, you know, being tapped into your intuition and knowing, like, again, your passions, and getting into that, you know, like being more concentrated, having more concentration and focus, you know, as I bring up that, because I tap in with the crystals, you know, the pyrites, the hematites, the fluorite. I try not say, fluorite, because it's closely related to fluoride, not the fluoride, you know what I'm saying? But again, like the fluorite, pyrite, hematite, bronzite, even some of the black crystals, shungite, black kyanite, aragonite for sure, and black kyanite, because they're real strongly grounded to the point where those two, out of most crystals I work with, I could definitely sense that black kyanite and aragonite draws the energy down into the earth star chakra, underneath the feet, and allow for you to have a strong connection with, what some may call Mother Earth, you know what I'm saying, Princess Earth, you know what I'm saying, Gaia, and all these different names. Because again, although it's a simulation, you still want to be connected, within the simulation. Again, like if I'm in a simulation where I'm in the planet Pluto, in order to be present in the planet Pluto in that simulation, I gotta have a Plutonian bodysuit. I gotta have a Plutonian astronaut suit, and I gotta take care of that Plutonian astronaut suit. So that may mean that I gotta connect to, the grid of Pluto. You know what I'm saying? Ground myself into the Plutonian energy in order to, be able to take care of what it is I gotta take care of in that space. You know what I'm saying? But again, like the concentration is very key. Concentration and focus and distraction removal, by paying attention to what it is that we're being of service of. And, just a little pointer of how you could become more aware of like your passions or what you're here to be of service, like what service you're here to provide in essence. Pay attention to no matter how much you allow distractions or you have allowed distractions to come up in the past, pay attention to what you always go back to as you realize oh shit, this was a distraction, and you gravitate back towards something, that you're passionate about, So be aware of what it is that you always all right, shit, I was distracted, let me get back to this energy and paying attention to this. And whatever it is, and again, you get a sense of joy out of it, a sense of being very present whenever you're tapping into it, you know what I'm saying? And once you realize this, what this passion and energy may be, you create plans to stabilize the focus energy on that passion. Because, matter of fact, I almost wanted to erase that video I did in the earlier stages, but I realized again, all of my videos provide you get to see the growth and progression, and that allows people to see hey, you're allowed to grow. It is inevitable anyway. You have to go from an unknown or an unknowing state to a knowing state of being, There's some things you're gonna know about and some things that you're learning about as you go. I think about that video I did about not liking grounding crystals, but that was coming from a perspective of trying to get into the high chakras, and of course I corrected that along the way and expressed the importance of grounding. But definitely being grounded right now is definitely key, because that also protects you from a lot of the mind noise, especially as we go into the transit of Jupiter being conjunct with Neptune in Pisces. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's going to be, again, a lot of highly intuitive energy, the intuitive sensitivity / what you may call psychic energy is going to be real sensitive. And, with everything is a positive and negative, so we're going to be able to, dream big in essence, we We don't have to play small ball around in these moments, you know, because again, this energy gonna permeate throughout the whole 2022. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, tapping in with this energy again in a concentrated and focused manner, you know, and kind of allowing for the wave to be created, so you could, you know, surf on your own wave of what, you know, what things you've been concentrating on and focusing on, you know. But that grounding energy is key, because, you know, just from the perspective of, you know, seeing how I once was trying to, like, you know, oh, I got to get to the crown chakra, get out of my body, you know. And again, these things are important, because we, you know, again, what's also coming up a lot is like practice, you know, the practice that we receive from tapping in the dream realm very vividly, you know, like whether it's just being vivid in our dreams in general or lucid dreaming, you know, because you could still be vividly aware in your dreams, you know, like real aware of what's going on, or just, you know, or the aspect of lucid dreaming where you're fully conscious and like, all right, this is a dream, let me, you know, let me do a dance, let me fly, let me create this building, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, like definitely tapping into that energy and that practice, you know, it's coming up a lot. But again, like the grounding energy, you know what I'm saying? Because again, no matter what star system you're from or how much you know about metaphysics, you know, etc., you know, the grounding is very, very key, you know what I'm saying? And again, like having an appreciation of the human experience, you know, because it's a reason why, you know, that as we tapped into our human experience, you know, a lot of beings trying to come into this human experience and trying to, in some way, form, or fashion, trying to, you know, like parasitic energy is trying to take control of our operations, you know, of governing our bodysuit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, like this bodysuits allow for spirit, you know what I'm saying, to, again, like work on matter, work on the 5 energy, you know what I'm saying? I realized, you know, on some, without even like studying the stuff, I got the 2 stars on my wrist, you know, in essence, because again, the parts are in the whole, you know, you're like a 5-pointed star, and then there's 5-pointed stars at the end of your each, you know, 5 points, you know. You got your like 5 senses, you know, or 5 parts of, you know, again, like your mouth, nose, eyes, ears, you know, and the skin in essence, you know. But like, you know, you got those 5 aspects here, 5 aspects in the hands, 5 aspects in the feet, you know, and again, 5-finger, 5-pointed star, you know, 'cause, you know how we create the little humans, the human figure walking with our fingers, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like as above, so below, as within, so without. But, you know, the grounding energy is definitely key, because, you know, a lot of what I've been doing since some of my strong DMT trips is remaining grounded, you know what I'm saying? Like, just having to, like, you know, like ground myself and being aware to give myself credit. Like, of course, you know, I've been maintaining grounding on some way, form, or fashion, but I guess, you know, again, like that Capricorn energy sometimes could be overcritical. So if I see myself deterred just a little bit, and I guess it's from the energy too, when you know better, do better, you know what I'm saying? But like, if I see myself deterred just a little bit, it's like, all right, hold on now, you know, get strongly grounded, you know what I'm saying? Because again, that's how we make things happen in the physical, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's by being grounded, you know what I'm saying? But the grounded energy and the concentration is key. You know, and again, we could practice our concentration through strengthening it through our through our visualizations and holding a certain image in our mind's eye, you know. And I brought this up again. It's one of those things I brought up recently in one of the videos I did. I don't know if it was on the live on Instagram or if I talked about it on one of the videos on here. But, you know, like, you could just simply practice by, you know, keeping a certain number in your mind's eye. Like, focus on the number 1, you know, and focus on it for as long as you can. And then go to the number 2. And see, you know, as you go through each number, how long you could focus on it without any other type of thought coming into play. Because there's no coincidence like within X-Men and stuff like that. You know, they show Jean Grey or Xavier or any of the psychic beings. You know, what would always throw them off, you know, was not being able to hold focus on their abilities. You know, because if I'm always allowing my mind to wander, you know, and again, like, yes, and when you know better, do better, because the DMT trip showed me, like, you are creating every aspect of what you're experiencing, you know, and those little moments where you be like, oh shit, I ain't create that, or like, pay attention to those moments where, you know, that 1 minute, you know, and again, it's not like trying to be controlling on the extreme micromanaging aspect. You know, it's not, again, as we say, focus and concentration, that's not extreme micromanaging, you know, but it's like just being aware that you're, you know, like be in control of what you're focusing on, you know, in essence. You know, because again, those little moments of drifting off to do other things and we're not like in full awareness, you know, that energy comes up, you know, and manifests, you know. And hence why, again, like when you may be doing a meditation or something and it's like, oh, this thought pop up out of the blue, you know what I'm saying, or this, you know. And ain't nothing wrong with, again, especially in the earlier stages, you know, where you meditating and thoughts pop up, that's gonna happen. But again, like that concentration is key. I guess, again, bringing it back to the importance of when we go through these different portals, again, March 21st, you know, setting the tone, like, you know, like a tone. You ever hit a sound bowl and you hit it one time and that sound, you know, resonates for a long time? You know, that's kind of like what these little moments are, you know, new moons, full moons, equinoxes, and, you know what I'm saying, solstices or solstice. You know, it's the energy of, you know, like going through a portal and being aware of the importance of that, you know what I'm saying? And again, like making certain changes that we're needing to make, you know, again, clearing out certain karmic energies, you know, like I'm having to, you know, realize again to become more, you know, be more vulnerable again in my expression. You know, because again, I went through situations that kind of almost made me draw back in and close my heart down and, you know, get into a place of lack of trust. And I had to build that trust of self again, back with myself and open my heart chakra up again, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not letting things, you know, throw things off. Because one thing I realized, you know, and let me bring this up, vulnerable moment, you know, like, you know, being aware of, like, you know, again, our actions and what we're doing, because I went through something that, you know, and still, again, like, that's why I'm bringing this up right now, you know, like, really sitting down and doing whatever work, because, again, like, also, if you have to sit down and take the whole day to just journal about something, or sit down and do a meditation about nurturing your inner child, or nurturing a certain, you know, traumatized energy, you know, that's important, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's being of service just as much as you know, making some jewelry or or writing a book, or doing some tarot reads, or making music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're being of service by self-care. Like, self-care is being of service. Again, like, like you taking care of your inner world is being of service to everybody around you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, actually doing that work, because what I was going to say, like, going through a certain situation that created like a foggy energy in my field, to the point where no matter how much my intentions was to not be on an unhealthy vibe, it still had like this fog in my energy field that gave off this unhealthy vibe. And I'd be wondering, like, what the fuck, like, why? Like, I could sense that people would like try to, like, in essence, do things in a certain way, as if I was like deliberately trying to harm them, or deliberately trying to, manipulate them in some way, form, or fashion. But it had a lot to do with, again, like this foggy energy, you know what I'm saying, within my energy field that I've, been having to transmute, you know what I'm saying? And the importance of that, because nobody, you don't want to walk around where your intentions, and again, road to hell could be paved with good intentions, but, like with that, intentions and awareness and to know better, to like, to do things a certain way, but then it still comes off as if you're trying to, be toxic or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody want to walk around, with that energy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like being aware of that, Cause yeah, having to, deal with, releasing myself from certain situations, and again, like the acknowledgement that no matter what, it's all, it's all you. Don't place the blame on. I don't care how manipulative a situation may have been. You gotta ask yourself, how was I a vibrational match to that situation? That goes back to that recent psychic vamp video I did. Like asking yourself, how am I making myself a vibrational match to attracting this situation, or being in these situations, So yeah, definitely. Again, like having to be aware of these things, because if you try to act like it's not happening, then you won't necessarily, be able to take care of it, because you're trying to act like you're not going through something that you're obviously going through. You know what I'm saying? So again, like that importance to not be in denial, right now as well on your spiritual growth and what you're dealing with. Now, I bring up that 9 to 5 energy. Just been tapping into the energy of seeing, again, like the main archetypes is 1 through 9, and even with the zodiac signs, it's 1 through 12, but 1 through 12 is really, 1 through 9, and then 1, 2, 3. Again, like Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces is like 1, 2, and 3. And seeing like a little connection with the Pisces energy, why it was correlated to the Christ energy. Just all right, great. Think about the vesica Pisces, shaped like a yoni, and the yoni. We think about the high priestess in the tarot deck, or the Virgin Mary, you know what I'm saying? Shaped like a, where her clothes basically was like, she was like a yoni in essence, with her head being the clitoris and the long gown being like the, the outskirt part of the yoni. But, it's like that. And that goes to the Shiva Lingam as well, like that egg or that oval shape, you know what I'm saying? And manifestation and the importance in connection with that. And we're going to tap a little bit into etymology with it, because also, again, tapping in to the five, the five energy, the 5-pointed star. Like I was saying earlier. And that's also again like it's in the middle, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then in essence 6 through 9 is like 1, 2, 3, and 4. But that 5 or that that Venus energy, 5 connected to the golden mean ratio, which is important with our Taurus field. And even again the way our body is created or distributed is in connection with the 5 ratio or the golden mean ratio. And what brought me here is for whatever reason I wanted to research the word adept, ADEPT, and I looked up the word adept, and it said, somebody that's very skilled or proficient at something. So, being skilled and proficient at a certain energy. And then the Latin definition, or the Latin word for adept was Pisces, ADIPISCI, and I don't know if this showing in a manner where y'all could read it, As a matter of fact, let me know, is this showing backwards, like to y'all? Are y'all able to read it? Or is it showing, because I don't know if it, like what I'm seeing, if it's in essence what's being reflected exactly to y'all. Are you able, is it showing in a manner where you could read it, or is backwards in essence? But the word, again, adept, somebody very skilled and proficient at something. And then the Latin aspect of it is adi. Are you good? All right. The Latin aspect is adi Pisces, which means to obtain or attain. And I saw within the word, again, the Latin definition or Latin word adi Pisces, part of it has Pisces in it, or like Pisces. So I looked up the word Pisces, and again it bring up the word, bring up the zodiac sign, Pisces, and then in Latin it's connected to the word Pisces with instead of Pisces, Piscis, which is connected to the fish. And again, like the vesicle Pisces shaped like a fish, And also a part of that Pisces name, or that Pisces, again, like the etymology of it, the word pisk, P-I-S-K, and pisk stands for a fish. In different words that it either has the whole word of pisk in it or part of it. You got because pisk turn into fish. And you got the fish net. You got grampus. Grampus is like a big, because gram kind of like coming from grand or something big, and pus like pice. You know what I'm saying? Fish, like the grand fish, and that's connected to killer whales. Or the whale energy. And then you got Piscatori, Pisces, Piscine, and Porpoise. And this also goes back to the connection of, the Dogon tribe and them connecting with, this fish being or this fish energy. Now again, some things could be taken literal, to some extent, but for the most part also, first and foremost, energetically. Everything exists on the energetic level before physically. So again, you go from adept to the word Pisces. And then I also found another correlation when we talk about, poison, or the French word that means fish. Let's see, where we at? You know, it also is closely related to the word poison. You know, and that brought up the aspect of, all right, let me see, you know, what that's talking about. And let's see, French poison means fish, and then the French, and then all right, and then poison in French, or poison translate into a magic potion. You know what I'm saying? So the word poison translate into a magic potion, and in French, it translates into the word fish. So it's like, all right, magic potion and a fish, and then, all right, you know, again, like the word poison and a magic potion. It's like, well, how could a magic potion be poison? And it's like, well, you know, what came to me is that, you know, that magic potion could be poisonous to certain beings that aren't able to handle that energy, you know what I'm saying? So the magic potion is being toxic to some, therefore being like a poison or poisonous, you know, due to, again, like, we think about the Pisces energy. The Pisces energy is like a 360 degrees of knowledge. Because you go from, you know, the Pisces kind of has that empathy, you know, energy, you know, due to being aware of going through all the different archetypes, you know, from the Aries through Sagittarius, through Capricorn and Aquarius to the spot that it's in, you know. And with that awareness, you know, again, it comes like that Christ-like energy. Like, all right, I understand, you know, all of y'all different, you know, plights, or which, you know, the positive and negatives to all of y'all energies, you know what I'm saying? So AKA the 360 degrees of awareness, in essence, could be toxic or too much for some to handle. And this kind of somewhat speaks to, you know, the Ring of Solomon, in essence. Or again, or like a DMT trip, like where it's like an overload of information or insight, you know what I'm saying? Again, back to being grounded as well, you know, like whenever a wire is not grounded, there could be an overload of electricity, you know what I'm saying, where basically, you know, the computer is not able to operate if it's like, you know, overwhelmed by electricity and it's not grounded. So going a little further, you know, from Pisces, and then it bringing up again like the word poison and connecting to fish and magic potion, and how the magic potion could be toxic to some, and the magic potion is like, again, like that 360 degrees of awareness, you know, that could be, you know, again, like overwhelming to have to understand. Like, again, this also speaks to understanding the, you know, again, like the paradox of being, you know, in between the yin and yang energy, or in duality, you know, and, you know, again, like having to understand, all right, yeah, I'm on an individual experience, but I'm also part of a collective, you know, and that could be an overwhelming energy, you know, for some to grasp. You know, and again, it's also Shiva Lingam as well. But Vesica Pisces, you know, one definition is the intersection of two discs. You know, we can say two worlds, or like a whirlpool, you know what I'm saying, like a whirl. Because another thing is, you know, when we talk about like different, you know, perspectives, or the different mythological texts, you know, that speaks of this realm, you know, it speaks of just like layers of water, you know what I'm saying? Because even our atmosphere is like water, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we're walking through water, you know, it is almost like an analogy could be like being in, you know, for the SpongeBob people, you know what I'm saying? But like being in Bikini Bottom, you know what I'm saying? Walking at the bottom of an ocean, in essence, and not, you know, again, like, because is a fish, like, looking at it, like a fish think the water it's in is normal, you know, and the same thing with us being in this atmosphere, you know, it's like, oh, you know, this ain't, you like not seeing it as a water or anything of that nature. It's like, hey, this is just what I naturally flow through, you know what I'm saying? But again, there's different levels of water. And again, like, that fish, maneuvering through water. So the Vesica Pisces, intersection of two discs. And in Latin, Vesica Pisces stands for the bladder of a fish. What the bladder, the bladder deals with is water. When we got our bladder full, we gotta go, urinate. And no coincidence too that this also connects to all the talk about the kidneys and kidney health. You know what I'm saying? Because our kidneys is also, tied to, again, like the urine and detoxifying, detoxifying the water in the body. You know what I'm saying? Also purifying the blood for sure. You know what I'm saying? Along with the liver, but again, it's like the detoxification or the balance of the water levels in the body. So Vesica Pisces, the bladder of a fish, and Vesica meaning bladder, and then also Vesica related to the word obsolete, which is a large vessel for distilling liquor. It's like, all right, obsolete, again, you go from Vesica to bladder to obsolete, which is a large vessel, for distilling liquor. When we talk about liquor, liquor is also connected to what? The spirits. You know what I'm saying? You look at the definition for distilling, and distilling, distilling, distilling is the process of making spirits. You know what I'm saying? So again, within that Vesica Pisces, you know what I'm saying, in that little realm, you know what I'm saying, in connection with the yoni, the yoni is what we come through into this, into this realm, you know what I'm saying, it's through our mother's yoni, technically, maybe not all of us, because I know my mom had a C-section, which kind of affects the energy, again, of our being to some extent, because that being pushed through the vaginal canal is something that in essence we should naturally go through, you know what I'm saying, because that's also like a connection with the Taurus field and going through different portals as well, you know what I'm saying. So there is, again, it doesn't mean like, oh, my mama had a C-section and that mean I'm just done for or something like that. Nah, but it does have an effect on our energy, you know what I'm saying, our development, in some way, form, or fashion. But again, you got to do your meditations. If it comes up, as something important to be aware of, like, all right, like why I chose for my mom to, to go to a mom that would have a C-section, you know what I'm saying? But again, Vesica, bladder, obsolete, a large vessel for distilling liquor. Then distilling, the process of making spirits. And then also another definition of distilling is the fact or process of extracting the essential meaning or most important aspects of something. And when we think about our earthly experience, in essence, we're like extracting the essential meaning or the most important aspects of something, or the most important aspects of our being, and breaking the word distill down, D in Latin, so just that prefix, down and away, going down into a certain realm, you know what I'm saying? And then stilla is like a Latin for a drop, like almost like a little drop of water, you know what I'm saying? Going down and away into, this realm, you know what I'm saying? Or again, like this process of making spirits, because as we go through, certain energies again, and we experience certain emotions, it's like a drop in the water, it creates like a ripple effect. The first time I ever, experienced, like the cause and effect of karma, the first time that a baby got put in a dumpster created, cause and effect. And that baby probably grew up to want to make sure that all babies have a place to stay, and created the emotion of for the first time feeling some kind of way towards your mother. That boom, that little space was created, that little emotion or perspective was created due to the, first time that happened, you know what I'm saying? So seeing that correlation to that. And so bringing it full circle again, like with, talk about the subconscious is in connection with, or explained to be like waters, you know what I'm saying? Swimming in the subconscious waters and the waters of all dimensions, so again, like, within this physical realm, and then also in the astral plane and etheric realms, but let's just say the astral planes, you know what I'm saying? And tapping into other dimensions, it's like being able to maneuver or swim through those waters, you know what I'm saying? So again, like the fish energy, being so important in essence is because, it's like being able to be like a fish and being able to swim through all of these different forms of water. All these different worlds, WHIRLS, and all these different, again, like atmospheres, in essence, or atmospheres, like spheres, you know what I'm saying? And that just brings it back to like being adept is like being a fish, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, through the etymology of it, you know what I'm saying? Seeing the walkthrough of the different words, you know what I'm saying? Being adept is like being a fish. And the Pisces energy also, again, was like considered to be like the Christ energy, or that, again, like that balance energy, you know what I'm saying? That also, that balance energy, so speaking of that, you know what I'm saying, that number 5 energy, we talk about the heart chakra, you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, the throat chakra is considered the 5th, the throat chakra is considered the 5th chakra, but again, but the heart energy, in essence, is connected with that 5 energy, because, it is like the mediator between the lower chakras or the lower worlds and the higher worlds, you know what I'm saying? And it's also in connection with the energy of Venus, and Venus orbits in like a curvy 5-pointed star manner, you know what I'm saying? And with that, you know what I'm saying, again, like you think about the word heart, and you take the H off the front of heart and put it to the back of the word heart, and then you get earth, so heart, earth, and the 5-pointed star, you know what I'm saying? And again, like the master of the physical, and I've been, matter of fact, I got important too. I wanted to get like a curvy 5-pointed star to have that balance of the masculine and feminine energy within, that 5-pointed star, and also again tapping in with the number 9, which I'm still studying a little more, but my research led me to connecting with the Enneagram, and then I saw also that 7 Bomar was speaking about it too. With that, but I'm still doing more research on it, and just tapping in with, again, like just the different archetypical representations of this number, because it's also, again, so talk about the 5 energy, again, like that's mastery of being in the physical realm, mastery of the human experience. The Christ energy is like, like having that empathy of our human experience, as well. But we talk about the 9 energy, again, like the last, technically the last zodiac sign, in essence, from a numerological perspective, would be Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying? And no coincidence that Sagittarius is known for wisdom, through traveling, you know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like, again, like the first stage of Pisces. Pisces is almost like another octave, in essence. When we talk about sounds and vibrations on that level, it was like another octave of the energy of Sagittarius. So, the Sagittarius is like wisdom from traveling and experiencing in those different spaces. Sagittarius like to move around, and it deals with wisdom of being like a teacher, you know what I'm saying, from having those different experiences, and again, through traveling through the waters. So although a Sagittarius is not considered, a fish, it does have to deal with traveling. And when we travel, though, in the true essence of traveling, you're traveling through waters. You know what I'm saying? No coincidence, though, that Sagittarius is, considered to be ruled by Jupiter, and Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. But then also later attaching to Neptune, which again, Neptune, being a perspective of connecting with the water. And you also see like the word Poseidon also closely related to the word Pisces, being in that, that water, that, again, that intuitive energy, that psychic energy, because the Pisces is known for being, very intuitive, very psychic, and also, tapping into the dreams, because the Pisces is known to be, to get in a daydream real quick, you know what I'm saying? Pisces known for like just being in their own little bubble, and hence why we even got, why would we use that word bubble? Like when we speaking of being in your own world, WHIRL, when you're in your own world, in your own little bubble, a bubble of, how is a bubble created? A bubble is created, because even think about like, although we use quote unquote water or certain liquids to make bubbles in our atmosphere, that also speaks to the fact that, well, shit, if a bubble could be made in our air, then our air must be like water as well, you know what I'm saying? It's like a vice versa effect. And when you're in what we call water, you know what I'm saying, you're also able to make bubbles, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that vice versa effect. But again, that ninth, our last archetype in essence, is like Sagittarius. And as I'm studying a little more, seeing like, the different archetypes in the Enneagram, and like the Sagittarius and Pisces energy is almost like the 9 energy. And no coincidence that speaking of like the research of the number 9 energy in the Enneagram, it also speaks to a lot of indigenous people, like a lot of indigenous tribes or people like in either indigenous areas where they still kind of, live like, the ancestors in a more ancient sense of being, or in some cases, some quote unquote third world countries, No coincidence, we talk about third world, country, and Pisces 12 zodiac sign, 1 + 2 = 3. But those beings tend to have like a 9 energy, and a 9 energy is like one of the most, empathetic or empath, because I hear how, and what you do have to be aware. Well, you don't want to be pathetic, but like having more of an empath energy to it, being sensitive to, how other people are living, and hence why, what we talk about, some people talk about whether it's again like the ancient Lyran beings with, a cat having 9 lives, we talk about the 9 ether energy, you know what I'm saying? But it deals with, going through all those different spaces, so having a strong awareness of, what others may be going through in essence, so hence why, and again, and not making this just about, melanin or melanated people, but again, like that's why a lot of these indigenous tribes, which happen to be, melanated groups of people, are having a lot of external melanin, they have this vibe of like understanding, because even looking at, where some people have been through slavery, because partial aspects, and just to be a little 3D about it, partial aspects of like, certain people being like empathetic or, understanding of some people, some of that may be a little bit of slave programming, but a lot of it is having to deal with just having a big heart. Like, even people who are aware of these things still, in some way, form, or fashion, is being of a service to this whole realm. Whether they choose to quote unquote work through one particular aspect of the community or not, you know, they still being a benefit to everybody in this realm, you know, in some way, form, or fashion, you know. So again, like bringing that full circle to that Pisces energy. And again, Pisces is like the wisdom from traveling through the previous spaces. Again, like the 1 through, you know, from the 1 to 11 to the 12, you know what I'm saying? And where I'm at. And again, this just brings forth, again, the 360 degrees or the full circle of knowledge. 360, 3 and 6 equals 9, you know what I'm saying? And again, bringing that in the perspective of Jupiter energy, the Neptune energy, the Pisces energy, you know, and again, like the importance of this conjunction of, you know, which a conjunction is when, you know, certain planets are in close proximity to each other. This conjunction of Neptune and Jupiter, and no coincidence, on April 12th is when the conjunction, in essence, is kind of like at its strongest. You know, April 12th, 1 and 2, 12th sign of the zodiac, you know what I'm saying? It's again like just showing the little number correlations, but April 12th, 1 plus 2 equals 3, and again 12 is what Pisces is considered the 12th zodiac sign, and then also Neptune and Jupiter are going to be 23 degrees, you know, so they're both going to be on the 23rd degree of Pisces, and 2 plus 3 equals 5, and bringing it back to the 5 energy. So, you know, again, like the 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying? you know, not necessarily talking about like the average 9 to 5, more so like your 9 to 5 is a soul in this earthly plane. You know, like what work you came to do on a you know, on a level as a spirit or a soul in this, you know, in this realm, you know, in this world. But basically, I'm not sure if you other the diagrams. Yeah, some of these I done showed already. And like, and that's also a thing too, like where in essence, you know, even with 1 through 9, like things could even be simplified to the fact that it's only 1, 2, and 3. You know, it's 1, 2, and 3, and then that first trinity turn into like 1, again like 1, 2, and 3, which in essence is like 1. You know, and then that process repeated like in fractals, like all right, 1, 2, and 3, this turn to 1, so there have to be a 2, and then 2 is like 4, 5, and 6. You know what I'm saying? And then a third, you know, trinity. 7, 8, 9. Why again Nikola Tesla brings up the importance of 3, 6, and 9. You know what I'm saying? In basically like just the importance of that energy in this realm. You know what I'm saying? In general in the universe. You know. And again, you know, I did my best to, again, tie this into something that's tangible and, you know, with a lot of this information, you know, it's not to just be like, oh man, brother, that was, you know, that's deep, you know, but nah, it's like, all right, you know, being aware of this energy too, you know, gain clarity of our being, not only individually, but as a collective, and kind of gain more insight of like, all right, you know, we talk about like most beings that, you know, feel like their sole purpose is to bring forth certain levels of awareness of the spirit realm and tapping in with our soul, you know what I'm saying, and understanding that this realm is not the end all be all, and at the same time, you know, valuing the importance of this now moment and being in this realm, you know what I'm saying. You see how that all correlates, you know what I'm saying. Again, with the empathy and the Pisces energy, the number 9 energy, or the 12, you know, but being, you know, going through that full circle of the energies and building that empathy, you know what I'm saying, and hence why, you know, most beings that are here to, you know, for lack of a better word, you know, feel again like having that strong energy of, you know, wanting to be of service in this realm of, like, you know, spirituality, or, you know, helping people spiritually, which translates to physically. Again, like 9 to 5, you know, spiritual level, 9 ether, 9 of the Sag/Pisces energy, you know what I'm saying, and the 5, you know, the Venus energy, the physical aspect, you know what I'm saying, the 5-pointed star, you know, fire, water, air, earth, and ether, you know what I'm saying. It's somewhat, you know, in essence, like the movie Fifth Element, you know, kind of speaking to that as well. And with anything, you know, we tapping into is like, all right, how does this, you know, make sense in, you know, the physical, you know, like how does this translate to my physical experience? Because again, like, you know, I could just be saying this to just be saying it, but it's like, all right, but how does this translate to my now moment, and how can I, you know, again, like use this awareness to, you know, to be of value in my now moment, you know what I'm saying? So great blackness, Empress energy, Mr. West. See Mr. Aaron in here, Bridge of Ra, Naha Wajet, Christian Tuwebe. Yeah, just again, like our awareness, you know, moving forward. As I say that, you know, 'cause that's another thing, you know, I've been having to, you know, make sure that I do my behind the scenes work and work on bigger projects that I know I need to work on. You know, I can't be, you know, like I do my best to, you know, make sure I check in and, you know, tap in. Because again, like with anything, and that's also what I realized, like being responsible in the essence of, like, you know, I always would say, like, hey, you know, and I think about that, you know, because that was me, like, kind of somewhat, you know, like, for one, knowing my energy, so keeping it real about myself, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of knowing thyself. When, like, early in the stages, I would always say, like, hey, you know, I'm not no teacher, or I'm not, you know, I'm just upon my growth just like you, sharing my experience like you, like, you know, like, I would put myself on that pedestal of, like, you know, like, teaching to that, you know, to that extent, you know, but definitely in some way, form or fashion, you know, like having some form of, you know, responsibility, or being responsible towards, you know, like coming forward and expressing things, you know what I'm saying? Because I do feel like that's, you know, a part of my energy is, you know, sharing things from my perspective, you know what I'm saying? Because again, we all basically saying the same thing, you know, no matter what person you listen to, or what book you read talking about occult esoteric information, or what's going on in this realm now. You know, it's just different versions of saying the same thing, you know, but that helps, again, like in going back to, you know, the individual experience to the group experience, you know, and all these different angles of perspective, or angels, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, all these different angles of perspective. Yeah, you know, again, I always was like, you know, hey, you know, take a resonate, leave it don't. You know, I'm not your guru. You know, it all was, you know, said for a reason. But again, like realizing, like, also to do whatever it is though that you gotta do. If you do have to, like whether it's a YouTube platform, you providing other services, no matter what it is, like having to take that moment to step away, because that's what we're also breaking out of, is like from being in this realm and feeling like everything has to be like, from a perspective of work, go. And yes, you never want to stop on your spiritual journey. But again, like there's a difference from like trying to always stay active in the form of what we think is working, and staying active just in general as just a being of like just making sure you're actively tapping in with with spirit, taking care of self. Because again, you being of service, even if you're not dealing with the service that you provide, in essence, like you're being of service just by, if you took a bath today, you're being of service to everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? If you studying and practicing certain spiritual practices energetically, you being of service to everybody energy field. So when you go different places, that energy could be felt. You're working on, not judging yourself for others, that energy could be felt as you go different places, as you do certain things, you know what I'm saying? So that's, being of service first and foremost. And again, like being aware right now to just, be more concentrated. And again, like acknowledge the seriousness of the shifts, because things are going to continuously change. There is the essence of, not on no vibe of like no, straight up zombie apocalypse type of energy. But again, there's a lot of beings that's not going to get the messages that's being expressed on this, like what I'm expressing right now, you know what I'm saying? And with that awareness, again, and I did a live video on Instagram about this, but how being of service is our protection, in essence too. It's one of our forms of protection, is just being of service, like, because as you're being of service and focusing on your inner work and connecting with, the community that you connect with, your soul family that you connect with, you're not going to have time to be trying to pay attention to all of the, the other stuff. Because again, that's the importance of, moving forward, being aware of like, what we're consuming, through our eyes, our ears, nose, mouth, skin, going through this portal, through March 21st portal, going through, the April portal, again, like when Neptune is conjunct with Jupiter, because again, that Jupiter gonna be expanding, And so if you focusing on a Toyota Prius, you may manifest excursion just off of the strength of the Jupiter energy. I'm just, just a little example, but that goes across the board, not just talking about cars, you know what I'm saying? Good. Great blackness. Happy New Year's. I'll go pop some fireworks. Which the inner fireworks. But and that's what I want to say too. Like again, inner work and like the balance between the inner world and the external realm. Like no good or bad, right or wrong. We are in this physical realm, like again, I realized like I had to kind of catch myself with not distancing myself too extremely from, my blood family, you know what I'm saying? Because although, some may be on a different vibe that, than what I'm aware of and what I'm on, it's still to, again, like, because I realized, like, in some way, form, my fashion, being aware to not be judgmental, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like, transmuting any and all forms of judgment first starts with self. because in essence, you like, oh, if I was still eating this type of food, then I would judge myself. Or if I didn't know what chakras was, then I would, and again, like, being aware of self to the T, because I realized, like, when I really watch myself and observe myself, like, I realize how much, like, ignorance would anger me, in essence. Like, I had something against ignorance, and even to some extent, without being aware, like, having subtle judgments towards ignorance. And it's like, bro, like, draw back, like that doesn't serve nobody for you to be judgmental towards that energy or to get mad by it. It's okay that, that happened, and, it is what it is, a part of the experience, and that's how you become aware. It's like, all right, now that you are aware, and again, seeing, because what we may be emotionally attached to as well, that speaks to what, like our karmic cycles of reincarnation, like the Saturn moon matrix, you know what I'm saying? Like the Saturn energy, the bones, that bones energy in the body, you know what I'm saying? And hence why the bones is the last thing to deteriorate, when this bodysuit deteriorate, that Saturn energy, that karmic energy has that lasting energy, you know what I'm saying? And having to transmute that, that connection, again, in connection with the moon, that charged up the emotions in connection with being in this experience. So it's like, all right, like seeing, like, all right, I'm so strongly, this affects me so strongly emotionally, so this may have been one of the reasons why I came back into this realm in this lifetime was because of being too emotionally attached to this. So let me transmute that energy. You know what I'm saying? Trusting the process. Basically it. That's all I wanted to share. Again, like the connection with the Pisces energy. Realizing for myself, grounding myself in my past DMT trips. Having to understand that too, like, transmuting that energy of trying to skip steps. Like, all right, how can I get to this quicker? It's like, bro, no. Be patient. Be patient, my friend. Being grounded. And what I'll bring up again, if I didn't say it already, again, like having that awareness of, like right now, like planning, like having awareness of our goals and making plans, because one of the energies, again, that, where the lack of confidence comes up, the fear comes up, the anxiety comes up, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Well, you don't know what's going to happen in the future because you're not making any plans or doing what it is that's in your highest alignment for this now moment. So that's where those anxieties come from, or those fears come from, or those doubts come from, because if you're not doing anything to be in that alignment right now, aka having some type of short-term, long-term plan, doesn't mean rigid planning. Like, all right, at 1 a.m., I'm gonna drink some water. Then at 1:01, I'm gonna pick up this crystal. And then at 1:02, it's like, no, it's not. A little bit of quote-unquote common sense, Again, just definitely, it's a simulation, it's a game, but also the importance of being accountable with our spiritual practices and our awareness, you know what I'm saying? Because the fact is that, things are becoming, more real in the sense of like, again, it's a simulation, but in this simulation, do you want to get stumped out on the ground, or do you want to get, harmed in any way, fashion? No, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's a game or a simulation, you're not going to be, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do, my little work and stay focused on, my passions, being the service, tapping in with the soul fam, understanding that eventually after the hermitage, I'm, connecting with, other beings other than just sitting by myself all the time, you know what I'm saying? Because that's almost like, again, like a stagnation of almost like trying to stay in the crown chakra, like, everything is all interconnected, so I don't have to connect with nobody physically. Wow. You still kind of feeling like, fuck, I want to, deep down in the subconscious, you like wanting to connect with somebody, you know what I'm saying? So again, like just being honest with ourselves, having to face those harsh truths if we haven't faced them, and realize a lot of, in essence, what we may be dealing with, if we're dealing with some type of, harshness or some type of energy, toxic energies, it may a lot also come from, just not being present, It's like letting some past stuff fester, past energies are being too anxious about the future, like right now. Oh, but they're gonna be this type of, well, now's the vibrate, focus on what you can do right now, you know what I'm saying? Let that come, you know what I'm saying? Because again, you're creating that situation by just sitting around like, oh yeah, it's possibly gonna be this and that. And again, be aware too, of like what you're taking on like with these movies and shows, you know what I'm saying? I've been watching Raised by Wolves, which is very, very interesting. Very interesting, but I also feel like, again, like you have to be, very, aware of self, again, because there's certain, little subconscious programmings that be in these movies that may be trying to plug some unhealthy programs into your subconscious, so you do have to be aware of it, again, having that awareness in general to be able to peep game, and if you're kind of fresh to it, make sure you say some type of affirmation, connect with your spirit guides and be like, hey, y'all, protect me from the harmful programming in this movie or this show or whatever. Because that's also, again, like we going to have that essence of being too, like which we creating our own, like things are lining up for us to create our own shows or forms of TV, kind of like how a YouTube channel is in essence as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, and also that aspect where it ain't always got to be like, hey, let me break down how the one goes into 9 and infinity and you know what I'm saying? We can also have simple things like, again, hey, this is a poem I just wrote, or this is a song I just made, hey, these are the foods I like to eat, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't always have to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because again, at the end of the day, where you at right now? In this physical realm, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with that 5 energy, So, oh yeah, Wes, it's pretty interesting, man. It's pretty. I've been kind of doing some little notes on it, you know what I'm saying? Been tapping in with it again because I see how it could, cause some confusion if you're not aware. So And that's why comic books be like more, comic books tend to have less programming in it. And be more straight up or like more expansive on the way it taps into, certain perspectives, Because if I haven't brought up before, this comic book, one of the most popular comics in the Image comics, but this one was on point too. Time Before Time. The Saga is the first issue. And also it's like a little story, like two different beings having a baby. This being from a line of magical beings that live on the moon that's closest to their planet, and they're like some different type of beings, and then their planet they deal with electronics more, so they deal, and that's kind of like what, matter of fact, that's what somewhat of a spoiler alert, that's somewhat of like what Raised by Wolves speaks on, you know what I'm saying? There's one faction that's like, dealing with computers, and what you go to see at the end of the day, oh shit, like both of them damn near doing the same thing or working with the same energies. Because one energy that's like, oh, they worship soul, or like the sun energy and like this being, and we only deal with faith. No robots, no androids, But then at some point they dealt with androids, and then you got the atheists that only deal with androids, computers. The computers have the answers, you know what I'm saying? But then they kind of have little forms of faith. They call it something else, but it's like the same thing, because it also shows that correlation. The pot called in the kettle black type of energy. Like, oh, y'all not doing this kind of way, but y'all secretly doing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Saga. Just to show you a little sauce. Little show and tell. Like, they got like beings. Like, actually having like a TV for a head. Like, that's the beings from the planet with the girl with the wings. Her planet, they got like little walking computers. In this version, the Ram is, that's the peeps of the magic. They come through. Yeah, definitely cool little read if you're into comic books or looking to get into comic books. But this was a fire concept too. This is almost like a personified version of breaking down the Kabbalah or the Tree of Life in essence. Like the 4 different worlds in the Tree of Life. Like dealing with the archetypes. Oh no, yeah, that's one thing for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done spoke on this. You know, it's like that vibe of knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like with the wholeness and the interconnectedness. It's like understanding how deep the programming. Like, yes, there are certain beings. Like with anything, as above, so below, as it is, so without. There's certain energies that are antagonists and toxic to my bodysuit, and there's a representation of that in the physical realm. You know, everybody different at how they express information. You know, as a matter of fact, I ain't even getting into it because it's almost like feeling funny because I'm being myself. So, yeah. We all express things in our different manners. You know what's up. You know what energies, what people, places, and things are not in alignment with you, and what things are. You know. Spoke of that ad nauseum. Talking about the Verde, what it was, the Green Frontier. It's showing the colonizers trying to tap into the etheric realms through trying to connect with the indigenous people and how they was going, like, so connected to the forest and the nature and stuff like that, you know. And we all speak from different perspectives. Like, some of us have had such a heavy traumatic experience with certain energies that we gotta kind of pull ourselves back a little bit from being so extreme with, you know, the separation vibes, you know, because you could end up again, like, whatever is worth, closing down your heart chakra or harming your own energy because you still holding on to grudges and stuff like that, you know. Again, my soul chose to come down into Louisiana. I don't know how many people in this chat soul chose to come to Louisiana, you know, and speaking from that perspective. But from this perspective, man, you gotta kind of like lighten up, you know, and know that if there is some type of energy or some type of beings that, you know, that don't connect or don't mix, like, whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. I done used so many examples of that, you know, like, again, what we focus on grows. Pay attention to what, you know, what you connect with, what resonates with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's coming up too, you know, before I go, like, you know, like what we support, you know what I'm saying, business-wise, like, you know, like looking to support, again, more so, you know, beings who may create some of the things that some of these bigger corporations got, like going to, you know, again, like the entrepreneurs and these startups, and you know, like, again, like the like-minded, like energy beings who creating things right now, you know. And as we do more of that, again, like what we focus on grows, and it's like vote. That's the real voting, is our attention, our energy, you know. Because if we all stop shopping at CVS and all these places, then the CVS could just no longer exist because it don't have no energy, you know. Again, like with the mind aspect, whatever we focus on grows. If I stop looking at a certain image in my mind, that image ceases to exist, you know. That's it, everybody. want to share that with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Tapping into that 9 energy, that 5 energy. And the 9 energy, in essence, is like being tapped into, you know, all the different 360, 3 plus 6 is 9. 360 degrees of insight. That Pisces energy, that adept, you know, the adept energy, you know, swimming. You know, I hear, you know, and thinking of like, you know, the different people I would hear, you know, use the word adept. And then I was doing some other little research and something just like, bam, go research the word adept. Like, and that just opened up. I knew I was going, like, uh-oh. That was almost like Mr. Anderson having to follow the white rabbit. You know, it was like, hey, follow the white rabbit. It's like, all right. Start researching the depth, and it took me. Because again, with that awareness of the etymology of the word, you know, you see a strong evidence, so you know, like, all right, for sure, you know, again, like, and that's how it could be, you know, applicable in our growth. It's not just something like, all right, you know, that was deep, or I'm, you know, it's like, no, you get to see, you know, truly the individual and / collective aspect of our, you know, our being, and have like a deeper understanding of it, you know, and be able to, again, with more of awareness of yourself, you'll be able to tap into your purpose more, you know. But that's it. Matter of fact, I'm rocking right now. Again, the crystals I brought up, I got my magnetic hematite, my fluorite, got my pyrite, with my 5-star, my 9-star. That's just on my wrist too. Fluorite, hematite. Got my Om Mani Padme Om beads, my Rude Rakshas, my tree agate. Got my peridot, solar plexus action. What else? Oh, now that's my new thing, man. That's one of my favorite pieces right here. This is Shujolite and sapphire, and it's like a black sapphire. It's like a star sapphire, and it's a black sapphire, man. Real good for like just keeping all this grounded and protected, you know what I'm saying? Got the lapis lazuli, which also has pyrite in it. And I also got my nephrite jade with bismuth. Got the nephrite jade working with the kidneys, because also, you know, the importance of, you know, expanding past doubts and fears, you know, right now is key. What else I got? My malachite and shungite. And what's this other piece? Oh, my Shiva lingam with the pine cone. The pine cone got that golden mean ratio. Again, back to the golden mean ratio, or the phi ratio, or connected to the 5 energy, you know. And matter of fact, dang, that piece is, again, like, kind of like what the energy, and you start to realize that too, like, you know, as I've been tapping in with nature more, like, just seeing how much I'm channeling the insight through nature and stuff like that. Like, I've been carrying around acorns and having like a strong connection, you know, like seeing as I research like squirrels and blue jays having a strong connection with acorns and oak trees, and how they're some of the biggest, you know, suppliers. I didn't say suppliers, but should I say the catalyst for a lot of oak trees growing, because squirrels are like, you know, bury an acorn, forget where it is, and it end up turning into an oak tree. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of like blue jays somewhat doing the same thing, like traveling and end up, you know, planting a little acorn somewhere. But, you know, like, yeah, you get these insights. And again, with the Shiva Lingam, it's like the phallus and the yoni, the egg and the phallus, or the balance in between the two circles, the feminine and masculine, but like that, that again, like that fish, what I'm saying, being able to swim through the waters. Yeah, I had Lemurian Black Jade. Was it Lemurian Black Jade? Yeah, it was Lemurian Black Jade, because I remember looking for it. I remember I was in, to be exact, I was in Santa Monica and found it in the Santa Monica crystal shop in California. Recede, darling. And matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna take a few little Q&As before I go right quick, especially dealing with the crystal vibes. That's what I've been getting to, is like, that's one of my main, main things I'm here to help with, so stick to what I've been aligned with. But you asked what's the best thing to wear with a Herkimer diamond. It depends on what energy you're working on. Like, why are you even working with the Herkimer diamond? Like, what you trying to tap into? Because a Herkimer diamond amplifies the energy of any crystal. That's one of the first things that I think of, in essence, just right off the bat. But it's like, all right, what are you? I'm looking to get clarity. I'm looking to tap into being more grounded. I'm looking to tap into healing some solar plexus, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, like, what's the focus of what you looking to work on. See, darling, that healing energies is all of that, you know what I'm saying? And I catch myself in these moments, because I be ready to be like, hey, calling out that bot-like trolling type of energy. But, you gotta, like, it's like specifics, like I just said, like with concentrating our energy and focus, you know what I'm saying? Because all things is, like, you could be healing your solar plexus, healing your first eye, healing, a leg injury, healing traumatic childhood. Like, healing is a broad, And matter of fact, what I would say to that, looking at the line of questions, and it's not to, make fun of you, but just to be, again, like, just, in a straightforward aspect of it, maybe you might want to use the Herkimer diamond with hematite or pyrite or something to, like, focus in on a certain area of awareness, you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe it'll point you to, like, what needs to be healed, in essence. And as I say that, that's another thing too, and I think I spoke on that. It's like, there are, like, again, like programmings and spells where you may be under a spell of like a certain clone type of bot-like energy, you know. I've seen myself come close to that energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, where it's like, oh shit, this is some bot-like shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta transmute this energy, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, because again, like, you know, it's gonna get to a space where, you know, it's like not giving any focus to that type of energy, you know? So that's why I'm also saying it like that too, you know? It's like, it's certain questions where it's like, if you asking this type of question, then, you know, I don't know, judgment, you know, because that's another thing too. Only the ego gets butt hurt, you know. Now again, it takes ego to, you know, to clash with ego, but again, like just being straightforward without no judgment or anything, you know, it's just certain questions where it's like, all right, if you're asking this type of question, because then it's a drain for me to try to overly explain some shit that, you know, like out of all these videos I got, you know, it's like some things is just, so just having that awareness, you know, but, no, that again, man, like that's, you know what I'm saying, but I would say anything for the bones, you know, so or any crystal with calcium in it, lapis lazuli comes to mind. That's the first thing that kind of came to mind, you know, because lapis lazuli has calcium in it. It works with the throat area, which is close to the shoulders, you know what I'm saying? Shoulders kind of deal with that somewhat Taurus / Gemini archetype energy, you know what I'm saying? So, see, man, West answering. Shout out to that little insight, but the direction and clarity, for me, I would say fluorite is one of my favorite crystals I've been liking to work with that energy, because the fluorine in it helps to protect from, you know, like external influences that, you know, that may not be in alignment for our highest good. The fluorine and fluorite helps to kind of protect from taking on other people's opinions and influences, and it amplifies your own focus and memory, you know, and being able to kind of like, you know, tap into a certain perspective. And it's not like exactly like the 4 energy, it has like a 6 energy. 6 is like a higher octave of 4. But 4 is like, you know, stability and having that foundation and having that focus, but with flexibility. I feel like fluorite and aquamarine is like a 6 energy. And aquamarine technically is, because the beryl family, it has like a hexagonal energy to it, which is the 6 energy, you know. So it's going to deal with, you know, that balance of, you know, having that focus, but with flexibility, not as rigid as a pyrite or a hematite in essence, you know. Not to say that pyrite or hematite doesn't allow flexibility, but, you know, it has like you know, like hematite and pyrite has a strong, like, you know what I'm saying? Like focus in on that energy. And just a general speaking, the color yellow, any yellow crystals deals with mental clarity and the mental body of the auric field, you know what I'm saying? So yellow crystals, that'd be great in general, you know, for the mental clarity. But then more of like your metals, more of like the iron energy. Like that iron energy kind of brings in a strong focusing energy for sure. But but we see Darling, Baptists who like, like the shoulder energy, and then also for pain in general, amber is a great crystal for pain in general. But I will also say, again, like as I expressed, but that's something, I want to do less of as I see, like, all right, what really should be worked with is crystals also are first tapping in with self, but like, because again, like, I don't want to be like no energy of like let me just go to Universal just to ask what, because it's like tap into a crystal that amplifies your inner intuition, that amplifies self-empowerment to gain confidence in your own, intuition. So we could look, less for, at least when it comes to like simple stuff, what I'm saying, where, you can use less and less external confirmations, go more internal, what I'm saying, with, tapping in. But again, like with some stuff, it's like, all right, if anything, also tap into a crystal that amplifies confidence in, the intuition, in that gut energy, what I'm saying? Citrine to be good. I'm out. Y'all know what it is. Stay present. It's just, again, because one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to give like no fluff type of messages. I don't want to fluff things up, and I could use another terminology, but that's too vulgar. But I don't want to fluff things up too much. You know what I'm saying? Or at all. Not even say too much. Like that shit ain't helping nobody genuinely. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit that, that comes from, the realm of certain little fake aspects of spirituality dealing with crystals, and I promise myself, and that's just my energy in general. It's like, all right, that shit ain't really, if it ain't really helping, or if it's something that, like almost like what somebody just asking me some shit, and I could recognize it's like, all right, I'm just, like, I kind of feel I'm gonna express that and keep it real about that, you know what I'm saying? Because because I expect the same thing though, like I don't want nobody to like just flush some shit up. I want them to keep it real and be like, hey, University, you could have Googled that, or you could have answered that yourself, or you could, what I'm saying? And again, I'm getting to a space where it's like clearing that energy out, because I have to recognize that whatever questions are being asked in these lives, or whatever's going on, it's what am I doing to attract this? I can't get angry or mad necessarily, or blame something external. I gotta ask myself, what am I doing to attract this energy? You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? And again, like, one of the things though is making sure that I be more, again, like, expressing my genuine feeling and genuine energy and genuine perspective on the, as it's like, again, it's creating a boundary, you know, where less and less of those questions are going to be asked, you know. And again, that's not to, you know, that's just, you know, again, man, it ain't. They got all kind of other little channels, you know. No knock to nobody if you want some fluff. You want that? That's again though, matter of fact, and as I joke about it though, like keeping it real, you know, like moving into, again, March 21st, it's New Year, you know what I'm saying? It's like not trying to even play around. I don't even want to, peace, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Now the vibe break. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past.